on the sex-related crimes.
What is that sex-related crime exactly?
I don't know, because the media is reporting it as a rape charge, but apparently it may not actually be rape, as in we know rape.
It's sex by surprise is the actual charge, right?
Well, what I got is 1 count of unlawful coercion, 2 counts of sexual molestation, 1 count of rape.
Yeah, we don't know what that means, but you know, there's some details involving condoms, and it's not exactly
but I'm reading sex by surprise, which I guess over there means that you weren't ready. You didn't have condom to protect.
But it's not a British problem. They're looking for
but it doesn't matter at this point. First of all, you could publish pictures of this guy, and I don't know if half the planet would believe that those pictures are real. This is so incredibly dangerous to our planet, to our way of life. This guy has said, his leaks. Now, and I'm torn. I mean, I think Thomas Jefferson would have done things like this, but he would have done it before it would have collapsed the whole world. You know, he would have done it in the first 25 years. Now this whole thing collapses the whole world. This guy's a real danger.
How's he collapsing the whole world?
You tell me. If he has all the stuff that he has, what are you going to believe in? How is our foreign service going to be negotiating with anybody?
How can they
Who's
trust
going to talk to each other?
Right.
You can't talk to each other. You can't get anything done.
Here's what I'm confused with, Glenn, is that last week, the spokesperson for the President of the United States, he made light of who Julian Assange is, and he says Americans should not be afraid of him. Listen to this.
Look, our foreign policy and our country is stronger than one guy with one website. We should not, and we should never be afraid of one guy who popped down $35 and bought a web address. Our foreign policy is stronger than that.
Is it really? Then why is the FCC going after internet neutrality? Why are they bypassing Congress and the courts for net neutrality? Why is it the FCC is putting all new rules on radio and television? They are absolutely afraid. This guy, Gibbs is a clown.
But why would he say that? You know that they arranged. No, you know they arranged that statement. He doesn't just go out there and on a whim say that statement. The president is his boss.
I can't tell you. I cannot predict what these people think, what they do, how they do it, other than they're incompetent at best. Why is no one asking the private that got these documents, why has no one asked the question, who is his supervisor? What is happening to the chain of command all the way up? Who's being prosecuted for dropping the ball on catching this guy?
And who green-lighted him through? He was already reprimanded when he was in Arizona training before he even got this type of access.
Where is the chain of command here?
Well,
and again, this makes me question the military, which goes to what I said to you earlier. You're burning everything down. I believe the military. I believe in the men and the women of our armed forces. They're the only thing left, really, that I believe in.
But they miss Major Assange, and they miss this guy.
They miss this, which, again, leads a reasonable person to say, well, wait a minute. What is this? How did this happen?
Well, apparently, and the reason this low-level guy had all this stuff is because this administration made information sharing much easier. Okay, and now this has happened, so now they're going to try to put the toothpaste back.
I guess they're just wanting transparency, just not the kind of transparency they were looking for.
All right, so this story is going to continue to develop throughout the day. We're going to see him in court live at 9 a.m. You'll see that right here on the Fox News channel. In the meantime, other big news happening last night with regard to this supposed tax deal. Do you see it as a compromise, or do you see one side clearly the winner in this?
But gosh, which side would you say was winning in this one?
Yeah.
I don't think anybody won in this one, other than if the tax cuts wouldn't have gone through, you would have had massive problems with our economy. Massive.
But you understand the problem this president is having, because on the right they praise it, and they basically said, we salute you for your hard work, Mr. President, for reaching across the aisle. The liberals are inflamed about this.
The liberals are going to be inflamed on anything that they do at this point. Anything that he does. This is, we played the videotape of the progressive side in the summer setting all of this up.
Well, why don't I do a better job of outlining? If you're just waking up, here's what the president announced yesterday around 6:45 Eastern Time.
I'm not about to add $700 billion to our deficit by allowing a permanent extension of the tax cuts for the wealthiest Americans. And I won't allow any extension of these tax cuts for the wealthy, even a temporary one, without also extending unemployment insurance for Americans who've lost their jobs, or additional tax cuts for working families and small businesses.
Okay, so here's the small print about what the tax cut negotiation has yielded, and that is, as you can see right there, a 2-year extension of the Bush-era tax cuts for everybody, all Americans with a capital A. A 13-month extension of unemployment insurance, a 2% reduction of payroll taxes regarding Social Security for a year, and here's something else. Apparently, they're still working on some of this stuff. 35% death tax exemption until 2011, only on $5 million estates plus. Now, what's interesting about the 2-year extension of the Bush-era tax cut is, you look 2 years down the road, this is going to come up exactly when Barack Obama is running for president. So the Republicans have already got a baked-in argument. Look, you vote for the Democrats, they're going to raise your taxes guaranteed. You vote for us, we will not.
But do they? Because if the economy is coming down, the Democrats look at it, the Marxists, I'm going to start calling them Democrats, the democratic socialists in our country are going to start looking at things and saying, it's because they gave the tax breaks to the rich. Aren't you tired of the rich? Because you are going to have this economy continue to slide.
Class warfare.
But
yeah, big
Glenn,
time.
I was very surprised that the president agreed to this 2-year extension for the very reason that we're discussing right now. That I'm not so sure it would be a good thing for him to have this debate come up again right before he's seeking re-election.
Oh, I think you're looking at, you have to look shorter term than that for the left. Van Jones, I played a speech that he gave last week. We played it on last night's program where he talked about the perfect storm. He talked about a nightmare scenario for riots in the streets. We then played the audio from CNBC where they were talking about the Pentagon worried about riots in the streets and massive uprisings. You have the top-down, which is the president, top-down, bottom-up, the uprising on the streets and inside out. They are looking for that 1960s moment.
All right, Glenn, let's talk a little bit about this. In Bedford, New Hampshire, at least one family is absolutely upset because apparently, and they want some educators canned because apparently there is a book that their son was assigned, and what it described Jesus Christ as is a wine-guzzling vagrant and a precocious socialist. The book is called Nickel and Dime on Not Getting By in America. It's a book by a woman who tried to get by and tried to make ends meet with minimum wage jobs.
Okay, here's the thing. As outrageous as that is about Jesus, again, we're attacking the whole thing. Jesus is now a Marxist. The point of this book is you can't make it in America. I mean, it might as well have been written by Michael Moore.
That's her theory.
Right. So you can't make it in America. So again, we have in our schools indoctrination of teaching kids this whole system is bad. You can't make it. And Jesus was a Marxist. If that's the that's the positive in this book, you know what I mean? That there is a way out and Christ has given it to you. It's Marxism.
Well, maybe there's some success